The female prisoner just glanced at the bolts of the table legs. The next second, a daring escape plan was formed in his mind. So he deliberately overturned the plate. As expected, the guards immediately reprimanded. Let him clean up. But this just gives women the opportunity to squat down. And then, women take advantage of the guard's blind spot, quietly started screwing the bolts. But the cunning prison guard still found something wrong with the woman. So he came to find out. At this critical juncture, fortunately, a death row inmate deliberately smeared hot rice porridge on his arm, and then yelled at the guards, "I burned my arm." That's what distracted the guards. The woman finally used up the force of the flood to screw the bolt down. I thought it was going very well, but when the woman returned from the restaurant to her cell, or something went wrong, just because, as a new prisoner, he didn't even notice. This place has long been secured by prison guards with metal detectors, and so, as the alarm sounded, the guards quickly pointed their guns at the woman with dark holes. See a woman silent. A prison guard had to hold a metal detector. Start full body scans on women. Little imagine, the bolt was hidden in the woman's sock. As the metal detector approaches the ankle, the woman's heart was already up to her throat. Turns out the woman was a senior engineer, but he's not going the right way. But they are intent on robbing banks. And even weirder, he grabbed the money and didn't leave. Also encouraged the security guard to call the police. Catch yourself. Even when the police came, he is also obedient. Even more bizarre, the court sentenced him to 25 years in prison. He was actually happy in his heart. And even more incredible, his cellmate turned out to be his own daughter. When she saw her daughter holding shards of glass ready to sever the artery, he was motionless to watch the scene of bustle, but never imagined. When I saw the guards leave, the woman suddenly rushed to her daughter, to save her from the brink of death. And the reason why women are trying to put themselves in jail, in fact, it was to help her daughter escape from this death prison. It turns out, not long ago, daughter was bullied by a bully. Disgraced, he grabbed a knife and stabbed it into the bully's neck. But the bully is hiding this guy in one country. The daughter of self-defense was sentenced to death. Even if a woman shows evidence of a bully's crime, get down on your knees and beg the judge to do justice. But it turns out that the judges here are all named Chen. No one believes in the law, resulting in her daughter being locked up in the country's most secure dark river prison. Wait a month for execution. The desperate woman had to save her daughter in her own way, so he robbed a bank and put himself and his daughter in the same cell. When I learned of my mother's purpose, my daughter was shocked. Just because this dark river prison is unbreakable, heavily guarded, not even a single mosquito can fly out. Not to mention the two of you breaking out of prison together. But little do you know, the prison was designed by my daughter 20 years ago. Later because, woman reports tofu dregs project, so it was banned. I had to open a small restaurant to make a living. His daughter's still worried. After all, 20 years have passed, now where can I remember clearly? Don't hurry. I carry it with me. Then the woman turned around and lifted her blouse. What you see is the Greek goddess tattoo, but did not find any design is not true. Before the original woman went to jail, the design of the dark river prison has been embroidered on the back in an extremely secretive way. But the first thing to do is to prepare tools for the escape. I think I need one more tool. A bolt under the dining room table. So it comes to the scene at the beginning of the video. With the cooperation of his daughter, the woman finally unscrewed the bolt on the leg of the table. But it's still a miscalculation. Back in the cell, the bolt triggered the metal alarm. Seeing the guards with metal detector blocks to scan his footsteps, I saw a woman suddenly pull a metal chopstick out of her hair. What are you stealing this? My leather rope just broke. I'm afraid it will affect the meter and deduct points. Just use that Jane for a head. That's it. The woman successfully passed the false and the real way to successfully survive the danger. After coming to the cell, the woman then grinds the bolt to the desired shape. But at this very moment, the daughter suddenly stood up in terror. It turns out that the female boss who was locked up in the small black room has returned. This man is ruthless. No one dares to provoke. It's a living hell that everyone is afraid. But the woman just rusted the bolt out. This makes the female boss very puzzled. But the next woman is even more amazing. Glory escape. The female boss is very angry, because he didn't want to get a higher sentence because a woman got himself involved. Must be with my psychic cavalry. The female boss smiled coldly and said, if the other party can't give a reason to refuse within a minute, report it to the prison guards immediately. Little imagine that women have long done their homework for female bosses. He directly grasped the weakness of the female boss and said, your daughter is about to be tortured to death by her scumbag husband. The female boss was immediately furious. To say women is nonsense. How did you expect the husband to suddenly visit the prison at this time? But to the shock of the female boss, the husband showed his original appearance, not only to announce the wedding date with Bai Yue Guang, also claimed his daughter had leukemia. Your master said, I've been alive for a month. No one paid for the operation. No one pays the medical bills. That's pathetic. But there are no children. When I die, I disappear a few minutes. It's hours. This moment, woman completely heart deaf. It turned out that he was in jail for his husband's crimes, in exchange for each other's ruthless betrayal. And on the other side, bullies will not die. He's plotting against his daughter in his cell. The woman picked up an iron spoon, ready to fight the bullies, but at this critical juncture, the prison guard threw water all over the bully for no reason. The bully was furious, so he pulled the guards out to take him away. Well, obviously, it was the female boss who just helped, and the tacit understanding of the eyes of the two men announced that they had become the closest comrades in arms. Seeing that her daughter will be executed in 3 days, women have to speed things up. That night, the daughter is responsible for the wind, and the woman used the bolt to pry the sink. Everything is expected by the woman. The wall behind the pool is indeed a bean curd dregs project. In just one night, they just make a big hole. To prevent prison guard Che, they used their work to sneak back materials and make dummies. When you act at night, you put it at the head of your bed to make a fake. The female boss really has eyes on the sky. He quickly got a 3-piece escape suit, salt promotes and disinfecting water. That night, they opened the hole in the wall again, and then climbed to the pipeline hub. The woman looked closely at the mark on her arm, then see through at a glance. The next window is their exit to freedom. Scrape the rust off it. Promote. Smoke. Hydrogen peroxide. Mixed together can quickly corrode the body products. There will be a few hours left. The king, you marry him. But the daughter who was in charge of stalking outside at this time was too nervous. I accidentally dropped the tools in my hand. The sound immediately attracted the attention of the guards, although the woman succeeded in picking him up. But the guards still knocked on the doors and windows. Let the people inside talk back. See, there's been no movement inside. So the guards immediately realized something was wrong, then hurriedly opened the door to check in. Then the next good show is about to begin.